Hi everyone, Kieran Brown here, and welcome to another video. Today is going to be the carnivore diet week 4 update. So this week I tried liver for the first time. I'm going to make a separate video on that. But long story short, it wasn't too bad. The texture was a bit funny, but it sort of tasted just like a steak, really. I'm not in a rush to have it again, and luckily you don't need to have it very often on this diet. And I know what Anthony Chafee suggests is to eat in proportion to the animal. So with a cow, for example, you'll get, like over 750 pounds of meat and there'd be one liver. So if you sort of eat in that proportion, then you should be fine. Gym performance was increasing, which is good. In the second week of this diet, I had a massive dip in like energy and gym performance. I think in hindsight, it was just because I was under eating, and it was really difficult to like figure out when I was full, because your like satiety signals are just, you have to relearn them basically. It took some time to get the strength levels back, but yeah, they're definitely on the up now, and I'm back over the strength levels that I was in week 1, which is great. Energy crashes have gone. In week 1, I did have a couple crashes in energy still. Maybe that was because there was still like some carbs and stuff in my system. But yeah, I literally haven't had any in the last couple weeks, which is great. Turned down a takeaway on Saturday night. Like my family got a Indian takeaway, and usually I'd be all over that. But yeah, I managed to turn it down. It was really easy actually. I thought that might be one of the most difficult things about this diet is sort of like the meals out and the takeaways, that kind of thing, just saying no. But I was listening to a podcast episode with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he said his main tip on like becoming successful is that you don't need discipline, you need a vision and like like a goal that you're working towards. And that kind of clicked for me, because my sort of vision like going forward is to just be like the healthiest version of myself that I can be. And I have specific like physique goals and strength goals and health goals, and that's sort of like the vision that I think about all the time. So when it came to getting the opportunity to have a takeaway, it didn't require like any discipline at all, because like I had this vision. So I actually traveled on Sunday. I'm on a week holiday in Albania at the moment. So I flew on Sunday. I had to get up around 5 o'clock in the morning and got lifted to the airport. And then I got to the airport around about 7-ish and had a couple hours to kill before my flight. So I was planning on going to McDonald's, but they didn't actually have one at the airport. So I ended up going to Burger King instead. And I just ordered 3 double hamburgers. I'll show you a picture later, which is 6 burger patties. And yeah, I basically ordered it on like the electronic screens, and then I went up to the desk and said like, is it okay if I just have the patties without the bread and the sauce? And yeah, it was absolutely fine. So I had that probably about maybe like 8 o'clock in the morning, and that literally kept me full until I arrived at my place in Albania around probably would have been, it was around like 2 o'clock local time. So yeah, easily kept me full until then. The slight problem was once I got here, trying to find some dinner. So I went around the supermarkets trying to find some beef or even lamb, and I just couldn't find any here. And I did find like one place in the supermarket, but all they had was like the really expensive cuts, and it was no different in price to the UK really. So I ended up ordering a Burger King, again, second Burger King of the day, from Wolt, which is like the food delivery service here, like Uber Eats or Deliveroo. And yeah, I just ended up having the burgers again. I did find a butcher. It was actually just across the road, but I'll talk more about that in next week's update. And yeah, another thing I noticed was just going to the toilet much less. Like for the first few weeks, I was probably going like every day, maybe maybe every other day, and stools were like very liquidy. But now I'm definitely like going less, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Whether like all the carbs and seed oils and whatever rubbish I was having before is sort of like finally cleared out. Who knows? So I'll swap over to the slides and show you my body composition change from week 4. Just before I show you the body composition, here's the picture of my Burger King order at the airport. So yeah, it was just 6 of these burger patties in a box and a bottle of water. It was ended up being, I think, about 17 quid, to be honest. It's quite a lot, but airport food usually is. And the bottle of water was like 3.50, 4 quid, which is a bit extortionate. But yeah, it's great to know that even when you don't have like your own food prepared, like there's always fast food restaurants about, and you can easily just go in and get some burger patties, and you don't have to deviate from your diet. And it's super filling as well, just having the meat. So here's the weigh-ins from week 4, and in summary, there has been no change really. 0.2 kilos lost. Yeah, basically the same really. It did get up a little bit, but then dropped. But yeah, not too much to report on that side really. So here are the weekly averages. The way I work these out is I would get the weigh-ins for the whole week, so like 7 lots of weigh-ins, and then divide by 7, and then I put the averages onto the table here, and then I just calculate the differences between each one. I think this gives quite a good gauge on the actual progress, because it's an average, so it's a more accurate representation of the week rather than just relying on individual weigh-ins. So as you can see, in the first 3 weeks, I did lose quite a bit of weight. What's that? Like, yeah, 4 or 5 kilos in total. And then this week, in week 4, it's like completely plateaued out. There's hardly any change, and that's absolutely fine. Like I'm still like learning about the satiety signals on this diet, when to stop eating, how much to eat, that kind of thing. So I'm just sort of focusing on that, and letting the results and my body sort of do the rest. It's now Wednesday, so I'm like nearly halfway through week 5, and yeah, some super interesting weigh-ins this week, which I'll talk about in next week's update. So yeah, that's everything for this week 5 update. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.